For joining us, really well deserved 2-0 win over a good Barnsley team today. Just give us your thoughts immediately after the final whistle.
I thought we were really good. You never dominate a game for 90 minutes, but I thought we were the dominant team for the 95 minutes. I think there was how it was 0-0 at half time, I don't know, and then the way things are going at the minute, you're thinking, have we missed our opportunity? But I've said to the players quite a few times at half time, I was like, right, we've done okay, but okay won't get you anywhere in football. And the good thing is, they had a 15-minute spell, and the most pleasing part today is that we stuck in the game. You know, they got bigger and bigger, but we stuck to task. We stayed to passing the ball. We didn't resort to a little bit pressure came on and just turning it over and tossing it away. And because we don't have that profile of player, you know, I know Bojan's 6'4", 6'3", but I wouldn't consider him as a target man. You know, he's not Peter Crouch, not Andy Carroll. So we have to play the way we want to play. But to play under that pressure, there's no getting away from it. There's been a lot of pressure. You know, we found every way to lose. We've shot ourselves in the foot. We've had bad decisions. We've had lots of injuries. And then we've played well. I thought we were good at Reading. We found a way to lose. So I think it's a big relief for everyone. There's been lots of hard work. And ultimately it's now trying to recognise, so it's not a flash in the pan. So it isn't, oh, we've won a game, so everyone takes a deep breath and just falls back into old habits. That's the thing we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get rid of old habits where a bit of adversity comes on and people go, oh, not so sure now. It's, you know, it worked all at the start, pre-season at the start, and then we need to learn. You're not going to get it your own way. But they're a good team. They're a good team, and again, looking at the sort of the detail that we've been looking at, every player that was marking in the penalty area was marking someone bigger than them, and there was no panic. They trusted the strategy that we give them to mark, and then I thought you got to throw Chappie in there as well. I thought he was a really calming influence. Unbelievable that he's only, I don't know how many games he had, but I think it's less than the digits I've got. So I think he deserves a lot of credit as well.
It's interesting, you just mentioned Jacob Chapman there as one of the players why this stat is the case. Actually one of the youngest teams we've fielded for quite some time today. I think the average age of that starting 11 was just about 23 and a half, something like that, which might surprise people when you say that they've really stuck to that plan, you know, dealt with the pressure and dealt with that period where Barnsley had 10-15 minutes. It's credit to them, isn't it? Because often their qualities you might attribute to older players who you know have been there and experienced it, but your young sides really stood up and became out for you today.
Well, sometimes they're fearless because they've not been scarred. That doesn't mean that we're just going to play the young team all the time. But I thought they stuck to task. They listened to the information, then they delivered. They deserved the credit. I thought the supporters were magnificent from minute one. You know, they're not stupid. We're not stupid. We know they're frustrated. You know, Barnsley have turned up and it's full. But from minute one, they supported the players, which is all we want. You know, I know that people get frustrated and. At the end of the game, that's the time to either clap or boo. And they have booed us a couple of times, and quite rightly so, and we'll own that. But for 90 minutes, they were with us, and you can feel it with us. And we have to build that relationship with them. I've just said to the players, it's on us to build the relationship with the supporters. You know, we can't have that sort of, well, they need to turn up and support us. And then hopefully over time, you develop that relationship where they end up getting us through games where we need them. But we have to deliver performances like that week in, week out, not every now and again.
Absolutely. Made two changes today, brought Joe Hodge and Nigel Lonvite back into the team. I thought in particular the midfield really did well today. You had Joe and David Kasuma very close to each other, and I thought Ben Wiles found some really interesting spaces between the lines as well. You must be delighted how that trio in the middle worked out for you today. Yeah,
I think, well, we went for pace on the outsides in terms of Brodie and Nigel. And then we thought, well, we need to do something different. We needed to, if we're going to play Hodge, we needed to give him a little bit more physicality with him, and I thought they blended really well. And then Wilesy did what Wilesy does. He finds spaces and he breaks the back line. So yeah, it was pleasing. But I've just, you know, you got a mention to the captain there. You know, he didn't play in Birmingham, and he said no, whatever's right for the team. Now he might have thought he was because it's 2 games in a week, a Tuesday night game, but then I thought he thought he was playing. And he didn't play in it, but his reaction's been absolutely magnificent. That's a proper leader. Not good when you're good and not when you're not. You know, the way he was yesterday supporting the team, the way he was today on the bench, and you could be sulking. We've all been there when I think I should be playing. But he recognises it today, hopefully, it was for the benefit of the team, and it ended up being for the benefit of the team. So I think that's a real character that we need to bring more characters like that into the building.
You're right, we had to stay patient for the goals, and you do worry at times if you had your spell when you hadn't scored, and it didn't for the lack of chances and creativity in the first half. Bojan Radulivic's back in the team at the moment. You just alluded to, he just needs one to go in at the moment, doesn't he? That volley in the first half looks destined for the net if it doesn't hit the defender. Callum Marshall's had a couple of efforts. There was still creativity there despite having to wait for that first goal. Yeah,
and we've had injuries at that part of the pitch. Lots of things have happened in terms of, we've missed out on a couple, and we've had injuries. But all we can do is create chances. So that's, from my point of view, you can't keep the ball in the net for them. Or as a staff, all we can do is get them into certain areas. Then it's up to them. And I thought the amount of crossing areas we got into, that can probably be a little bit better. Too many crosses went behind the goal. But the sort of general build-up play, the areas that we wanted to exploit, we did. That's where the goals have come from, and that was really pleasing.
When the goal comes, it's a good one. Herbie Kane, I think Freddie Ladapo combined nicely down the right-hand side, pick out Ben Wiles, and Ben's been a real source of goals for you this season already, hasn't it? It's a great finish.
Yeah, well, it was either probably going to go in off someone's backside, or it was going to have to take a worldie. That's where we're at. We've had miles better chances in the game and not scored. But I'll be brutally honest, I don't care how they go in at the minute. It's been a hard couple of weeks. Because you do a lot of soul searching. I've the staff. You question yourself: are we doing it right? Are we missing something? And we genuinely don't think we have been, other than the results. So yeah, I'll be going home and falling asleep pretty quickly because I feel absolutely exhausted.
David Kasumu, not renowned as a regular source of goals during his time at Huddersfield Town, but it was a good one today.
Another good one. I just said to him, that's not what you're in the team for. And he said it's about time. So I don't know what his goal record is or when his last goal was. But no, his overall performance, and that's just the cherry on the cake. I think he's been really good. I thought he was good when he didn't start the season. He came on and affected games. And he's taken his opportunity and offered, when you give him a blend of the person next to him, they complement each other well, like you said.
A word for Jacob Chapman. You've already mentioned his calmness, but a first clean sheet for him since he came into the team. You've been at pains to say couldn't have done a right lot about the goals he's conceded at Reading or at Birmingham. He deserves that today, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he made a couple of good saves at Birmingham, but just it's more his composure and his temperament. Because young goalkeepers often they go looking for work. And that's when they look for that's when problems occur, because they go looking for work because they want to look like a good player and show everyone they're a good player. He let the work come to him, and when he did it really cleanly. I said the same thing to Nigel Longwink, whatever his name is, Nigel. Just be a good player. You don't need to look a good player all the time. So he's walked off the pitch today, and it's like, well, how did Nigel do? I thought he was top draw, part of a clean sheet. Matty Pearson. But there was lots of good performances today, but it's staying calm and not getting carried away. Obviously, there's a game Tuesday again. There will be a different team. And then we get a bit of a break where we can take stock of, every time we've conceded, kept a clean sheet, we've won the game. So there's getting the balance of the two.
As much as you're quite right to say, don't get too high after today, like we haven't got too low after the last ones. Equally, is this a much-needed confidence boost, a reminder to your players that they are a good team?
Well, we believe they're a good team, and hopefully that will remind them that they're a good team. It was probably a good game for us. It was a local derby. Darryl changes his team loads, so the focus was just solely on us today because we didn't know what shape they were going to play. We didn't know whether it'd be a 5, a 4-4-2, 4-3-3. He changed during the second half. He went to a 4-3-3, and he's renowned for that. And he does really well with it, Darryl. He's a good manager, so we couldn't prep properly in terms of we don't know what they're going to do. So let's focus on us. And luckily it worked.
Michael, well done today.